Good morning, English 12. I wanted to talk you through sort of where we are in our research process at this point. So you can see that the daily news today is dated 325 to 413. The reality is that we are in that place in our paper where we are providing peer feedback, revising independently, and getting ready to submit our final drafts. If you read the daily news, you'll see lots of things about the live feedback session. The most important thing I wanted to tell you this morning is that there was some desire in my Zoom meeting yesterday to keep peer feedback groups contained within class periods. So like period 4, period 5, period 6. On Canvas, that's a little bit trickier logistically. So it's going to take me a second to get those peer feedback groups set up. My goal is to have those posted by noon, but be patient with me as I work through those peer feedback groups. If you have not turned your draft in, it makes it really hard for me to assign you peer feedback. So please, 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 if you haven't submitted your draft, make sure you do that ASAP, okay? Your peer feedback groups will be posted on this very colorful slide. I anticipate maybe there'll be an extra row or two. So make sure that you look at the people that are in your peer feedback group, and then in order to schedule your live meeting, I think it makes sense for you all to email one another and set up a couple or 3 times when you guys can get together, and then decide on one so that you can do your live meeting. Now, I would suggest prior to your live meeting that you have scanned the papers and thought about what you want to say to the writer, because if you don't, you come into the live meeting and it takes a lot more time. So I would suggest to you that you do the feedback in Canvas for your peers in the comments prior to setting up and doing your meeting time. All right. Now, all of that said, when you get together for your live meeting, whether that's via Zoom or FaceTime or whatever other technology source you want to use, this critical friends protocol is very helpful. So phase 1, the writer is discussing his or her work for a couple of minutes. Phase 2, the readers are framing their feedback for a few minutes, especially using these frames down here, these sentence starters that can be helpful. And then phase 3, the writer is responding to the feedback. These, if you did them truly per time, would take you about 8 minutes. If you had 4 people in your group, you'd get through that in, 40 minutes, give or take. So if you're struggling with what to do in your live feedback session, this gives you guys a construct that you can use, okay? And then last but not least, I wanted to take you to the peer feedback form. When you are on the peer feedback form, you'll see it really functions as a checklist. I wanted it to serve a dual purpose. I wanted it to be for you to use for any kind of peer feedback. And I also wanted it to be for you to use before you submit your own paper. So it is not, listen to me carefully, it is not my expectation that you are completing one of these for each of your peers, but rather that you are using this as a guideline when you're looking at the paper. It helps you think about things that they might need to focus on, particularly if you're not sure what to look at in their essay. So this gives you a framework for not only your peers writing, but also for your own writing. Okay. I sent you an announcement via Canvas this morning that had lots of dates and things. One of them was a Zoom meeting tomorrow at 2:00. So feel free to come to that Zoom meeting. Those are really just office hours. If you need any support, if you need any clarification, if you need any help working on a specific piece of your paper, they've been really helpful for that time. Or if you just want to check in and say hi, because it's really nice to see other people's faces, you're welcome to do that as well. Your live documentation, there's a due date for that in the announcement. And then finally, it reminds you that your final published paper, final draft is due the 15th, okay? So if you have any questions, guys, you've been great about reaching out via email with questions. I'm trying to turn those around as quickly as I can so that you can get the feedback you need. But please remember that it's not a chat, it's not text messaging. So be patient with your teachers as they're getting back to your email. But Please reach out via email if you have questions. Let me know what you're thinking and working on. And then know also when we come back from our spring break that we will be dipping into the color of water a little bit. I'll publish that calendar on the module probably in the next couple of days. So if you want to start reading over our extended break, you certainly can. All right. Again, if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, hopefully I'll see some of you tomorrow at 2 o'clock during our Zoom meeting. Bye.